when the Native Americans came here 13,000 years ago, it was an ice age, and there was no San Francisco Bay. The water was 400 feet below where it is. It was just a big verdant valley with more wildlife than any other place, some archaeology, any place ever in history. With the saber-toothed tigers and camels and horses and all manner of these prehistoric animals, bison and mastodons, what they were, and they were all there. But the warming brought the water back up, inundated a lot of these Native American places because you couldn't see the ocean from San Francisco. It was 35 miles out. But they went on to these caves in the Channel Islands off of Santa Barbara and found in there arrows and bones and charcoal and dated it all to 13,000 years ago. So they know they came through there on their way south. So California was populated every which direction by 100 tribes of Native Americans speaking different languages and very isolated from each other because of they developed different technologies and living in these different places. And there weren't any big wars, and they didn't make any big constructions that we know about like they did in Mexico. And they moved around a bit. But when the first Spanish contact happened in the 18th century, they spread the white man's disease. And Europeans had been living in these cities and communicating with each other for thousands of years, and they developed immunities that.
So we're talking like smallpox and things like that. Right?
Cholera, a whole series of them. And they were so vociferous, so deadly to the Native Americans that by before gold was discovered, half of the Native population in California was already dead from these diseases, not from wars and things like that, just from the diseases that they had encountered from the white man. And then came the gold rush, which is when the pushing out that you talked about happened. And there was some tragic stuff in my county here in Maryland, just north of the Golden Gate Bridge. There was a very advanced civilization called the Miwoks. And they were sitting on this valuable land, and they had these little villages there. And so they passed a law saying they couldn't go into court, and they began to take their land away from them.